ChatGPT summarizes To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper. Illustrated by Midjourney.
Once upon a time, in a small Alabama town called Macomb, there lived a young girl named Scout Finch. She lived with her brother Jem, her father Atticus, and their housekeeper Calpurnia. Scout and Jem were raised by their father to be fair and just, despite the racism and prejudice that surrounded them in their community. One summer, Scout and Jem became fascinated with their reclusive neighbor, Boo Radley. They spent much of the summer trying to get a glimpse of him and creating stories about his mysterious life. Meanwhile, Scout's father Atticus was appointed to defend a black man, Tom Robinson, who had been falsely accused of raping a white woman. Scout and Jem watched as Atticus bravely fought for Robinson's innocence in the face of overwhelming racism and prejudice in the courtroom and the community. As the trial progressed, Scout and Jem began to see the cruel and unjust nature of the racism in their community. They also saw the courage and integrity of their father as he stood up for what was right. Despite Atticus' best efforts, Tom Robinson was found guilty and sentenced to death. The injustice of the verdict deeply affected Scout and Jem, and they struggled to understand how such a thing could happen. In the end, Scout's father Atticus taught her that everyone has a different perspective, and just because someone may seem different, it does not make them any less worthy of respect and kindness. Additionally, Scout and Jem's relationship with Boo Radley changed as they came to understand the true nature of his reclusiveness and that he was not the monster they had imagined him to be. Furthermore, Scout's discovery of her own prejudices and the injustices of racism and prejudice in her community led her to a greater understanding of the world and her place in it. The novel ends with Scout looking back on the events of the summer and realizing that despite the ugliness of racism and prejudice, there was also beauty and goodness to be found in people like her father Atticus. To Kill a Mockingbird is a powerful story about the struggle for justice and equality in the face of racism and prejudice, and the importance of empathy and understanding in overcoming these issues.
Sometimes the Bible in the hand of one man is worse than a whiskey bottle in the hand of another. There are just some kind of men who are so busy worrying about the next world they've never learned to live in this one, and you can look down the street and see the results. I think there's just one kind of folks.
People generally see what they look for and hear what they listen for. I wanted you to see what real courage is, instead of getting the idea that courage is a man with a gun in his hand. It's when you know you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway and see it through no matter what.
You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. Until you climb inside of his skin and walk around in it. The one thing that doesn't abide by majority rule is a person's conscience. Until I feared I would lose it, I never loved to read. One does not love breathing.
Gently hit the like and subscribe button for more summaries.
Thanks for staying till the end.